Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the show. I am your host with the most, Chris Talks. Hope that you are having a wonderful day because I am definitely having a wonderful day. So I hope that you're having a wonderful day, listeners. Welcome to the show. All right, so what do we have here today? Let's get into today's topic. Yeah, let's get into today's topic. All right, so this episode brings us to New York City, where a Lamborghini driver rental am I saying it? A Lamborghini driver charged after fiery wreck that killed the passenger. This happened in New York City. All right, so we're gonna let Sarah AI take over and report this story. So before we get right into it, y'all already know what to do. If you like this content and want to hear more of it, hit that subscribe, like, and notification button. Also, check us out on our other social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, stuff like that. So y'all can check us out on those platforms. All right, so yeah, I just want to get that out the way. All right, let's get right into it. Y'all know how we do. Let's just hit it. Let's get into it. Let's go.
A Lamborghini driver who crashed his luxury ride in a wild chase with cops through Upper Manhattan last month has been charged with manslaughter for the fiery wreck that killed his passenger. Authorities said Alejandro Rentas, 22, was arrested Wednesday in connection to the Deck 4 smash-up at 213th Street and 10th Avenue in Inwood that killed Tiana Rodriguez, 21. Police said Rentas, whose exact relationship to Rodriguez was unclear Thursday, was driving the sporty luxury SUV when he ran a red light shortly after 10 p.m. According to police sources, NYPD officers put their lights on to pull Rentas over, but he took off. Cops said the speeding motorist then zoomed north on 10th Avenue with cops hot on his trail. Police said Alejandro Rentas, 22, was charged with manslaughter in connection to the fiery Inwood crash. Cops said Rentas had just whizzed through a red light and was fleeing cops when the crash happened. Sources said Tiana Rodriguez, 21, was killed in the Deck 4 fiery crash. Police said Tiana Rodriguez, Facebook. He eventually slammed into a silver Hyundai Elantra that was attempting to make a left turn onto West 213th Street. According to cops, the out-of-control Lamborghini then veered left, striking the pillar of an above-ground subway track. Police said responding officers were able to pull Rentas out of the SUV before it eventually erupted into flames with Rodriguez still inside. Rentas does not have a criminal record. Cops said NYPD officers put their lights on to pull Rentas over, but he took off. Cops said Robert Messia, the speeding motorist, then zoomed north on 10th Avenue with cops hot on his trail. Police said Robert Messia, the out-of-control Lamborghini, then veered left, striking the pillar of an above-ground subway track. Police said Robert Messia. Responding officers were able to pull Rentas out of the SUV before it eventually erupted into flames with Rodriguez still inside. Police said Robert Messia. The young woman was pronounced dead by EMS. The NYPD said video captured the massive blaze caused by the crash and what appeared to be bright green wreckage from the scorched Italian sports car. Rentas was taken to Harlem Hospital, where he was initially listed in critical condition. The Bronx resident, who does not have a criminal record, was also charged with assault and reckless endangerment. Cops said he was arraigned on an indictment and ordered held on $150,000 cash bail, $350,000 insurance company bond, or $500,000 partially secured surety bond. Prosecutors said he will reappear in court on April 8. The driver of Hyundai, a 37-year-old man, was also taken to Harlem Hospital, where he was listed in stable condition.
All right, so yeah, that was a bad one. Of course, y'all already know that was a bad one. Most of the news that we report on this platform is not really. It's not always good. It's not always good. But I will say this: this was a case of showing off. Point blank. Period. This was just a case of showing off.
Bruh.
It basically was. So let's give the driver a dummy buzzer, and let's give the the passenger let's give our RIP bells. All right. So and in my opinion, in my view, this was just a case. Literally a case of just showing off. This was somebody, a young man, and definitely a young man. I mean, at 22 years old, 20. Think about it. To all my listeners, I want you to really think about this. 22 years old. Okay, you are in a Lamborghini. Now, let's think about what the average 22-year-old drives. Toyota, probably an Acura. Am I saying it right? Acura, or probably a Ford or something like that. Son, that's within a range of probably from 1,500 to about what 5,000, and eight. I'll put it in that range of 8 to 7 times out of 10. It is used. Okay. Now, let's put ourselves in the mind frame of this young man. Okay, so I am 22 years old, licensed, and I am driving a Lamborghini. Now, for y'all who don't know about cars, okay, you can look up your standard Lamborghini. Now, your standard Lamborghini has more than 600 horsepower. Okay, it can reach about what? Let's say let's average it off to about 100. It can go more than that, but it can go 100 within about 3.5 seconds. We're talking about seconds, not minutes, but seconds. So, a Lamborghini, for y'all who don't know, for y'all my listeners who don't know, is definitely a sports car. This is not a high class car. For y'all, for my listeners who are into cars, you know what I'm talking about. It's an exclusive car, but this is one of the few cars, one of the few sports cars that you can legally drive on a city road. So, with that said, this guy is supposed to be apparently he is supposed to be licensed to drive these type of cars. Now, most of my listeners, y'all might not know how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna put it to you in this simple format. To drive a limo, you have to be licensed to drive a limo. To drive a Lamborghini for a company, you have to be licensed to drive a sports car. Okay, so I took a second because I want that to mellow on your brain. I took one. Y'all know how I do. I always take a second. I let that mellow on your brain real quick. So, if you have to have a limo license to drive a limo, you also have to have a certain class. I think it's an E-class license just to drive a cab. And the point that I'm trying to make is that you have to have a certain license and a certain classification to drive certain cars. Okay? So, in closing, this guy apparently had to have the qualifications and the classifications to even operate this vehicle. Okay? So let's just get that. Let's get that clear. Let's get that out the way.
Bruh.
Let's get that out the way. Y'all know how I like to do it. Let's get that out the way. All right, so let me get what this article did not report out the way. What the article did not report was that this guy was only about a year or 2 years into this certification. So basically, he was a newbie. He's a newbie. And then he's driving in the city with this car. And I'm not sure on this. I'm not 100% sure on this. I have to clarify this. But from my sources, it's not clear, but it doesn't seem that he was really cleared for this specific type of car. Okay? Just throwing that out there. All right? I'm not saying this. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not saying it's completely legit. I want to clarify it. But if the case is that he is not qualified to drive this car, my question is this: why does the rental company have him driving this car if he's not qualified for it, to drive it? Now, I don't know how that really works, but I'm pretty sure he probably was qualified to drive the car, but at the same time, a young person in the city who's not from the city, because this young male is not from the city, who's not from the city and is in the city, and apparently got caught up in the life that the female was living, because it's not his life. You understand? He's a driver, so he's hired to transport this person from point A to point B to point B to point C, point D, point E. That's all. You're a limo driver. That's what this guy is. He's a limo driver, and apparently, to me, he got excited by the vehicle that he was driving because he was in a Lamborghini. And then I could say this. Well, most of the photographs that you see, it's at night. Well, yeah, it's at night. So, nighttime, Lamborghini, showing off, and that's what I think. This is my opinion on this. This guy was trying to show off for whatever client that he had, in a process of showing off for the client, he ends up killing the client. That's the truth of it. That's the real of it. Now, this story, and I want to clear this. This story got exactly, what was it? 36 seconds. 36 seconds on mainstream media. That's how much this story got. 36 seconds on mainstream media, and about a paragraph in what was the New York Post. Ladies and gentlemen, we have, like, I'm just like, I'm serious. I'm like,
Bruh.
seriously. This woman, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to focus on it or not, this young woman did not have any children, as far as we could find out. I did look on her Facebook, so You can look on her Facebook as well. I did look on her Facebook. This woman doesn't have any children, but she got hella family. This is, and this is why I want people to focus on. This is somebody's child. At the end of the day, this is somebody's child. 21, 22, 24, 28, 56. This is somebody's child. Okay? Now, her family, even though you can say what you want to say about her family provided a certain lifestyle for her. She went out just to hang out or whatever. You know, this is just to hang out. One of them fancy girls, you live that lifestyle to where their family, their parents can afford for them to sit there and rent such vehicles. And went out shopping, and this is the tragic end that happens. And this is because somebody was trying to show off. And that's exactly what I believe. Somebody was trying to show off. This is not someone, you got to understand, this female, this is not her first time traveling in a Lamborghini. This is not her first time traveling in such a vehicle that's high class in the city or anywhere else. But this is this guy's probably first time driving this female, such a female, and she's not ugly. We'll try to put the post. I'll try to post her picture up on Facebook, or you can check out this story, dig it up, check it out. But she's not ugly. She's not ugly at all, and you can see just by looking at her photo that she lives an expensive lifestyle. So this is a lifestyle that she lives. So in my view, in my opinion, it was a driver who was not used to, even though he was trained in driving these cars, I think he just he went overboard. I think this driver,
Bruh.
that's all I can say.
Bruh.
He went overboard. He went overboard. Because you have to understand this. To all my listeners, you have to understand this. And you can look it up if you want. You can do the research yourself. Cab drivers have to be licensed to drive cabs. Okay? Every class, every different vehicle has a different class. Just like if you drive a truck, it's not you're not going to get the same license or same training as if you was driving a car, or if you was driving, you understand what I'm saying. If you was just driving a regular vehicle, it's not the same training. It's not. If you're driving a truck, you're going to get different training, and even if you're pulling a trailer, if you're driving a tractor trailer and you're pulling a trailer, the training is definitely different. You got to go to the what's this? The school, and then you got to get a class. C, D, E. It's different classes, is what I'm saying. So, this specific driver had to qualify for that class to be able to drive this specific vehicle within the street limits. And this goes for all different celebrities. This particular person wasn't a celebrity, but okay, so for certain celebrities to come into your city and have certain vehicles, and sometimes the celebrities themselves, because they are not qualified or classified to drive the vehicles, they'll have a driver, but them themselves will still be within the vehicles. I mean, let's just think about it, and let's be serious. And I say that I focus on limo drivers because I want all my listeners to focus on limo drivers, because a limo driver drives these people around. So the people are not classified. They're not qualified to drive the limo. But the limo driver is, because the limo driver know how to park it, know when to turn, and whether it be a regular limo, stretch limo, whatever, they still have to be trained to do it. They have to pass not only a whatever test. I don't know. I know it's probably a written test that's involved in it, and some type of visual parking test or whatever. But they still have to qualify for this test. This person, what, like I said, okay? And I want y'all to get this. Like I said,
Bruh.
this woman, and it's very sad that this had to happen, but this woman, in my opinion, lost her life because some driver wanted to show off, okay, because they had this beautiful woman in their car. And as a result of them showing off, it ended up in a police chase in the city with a Lamborghini in the city, police chase.
Bruh.
Really? Let's be serious.
Bruh.
How far you really think you're going to get in the city, and in New York City at that?
Bruh.
Let's be serious. And as a result of this woman lost her life. Now, the driver survived. Yeah, I know how you feel. But the driver survived. Now, well, you listen to the story. You know what he's facing. So, my question is this to all my listeners. Do you think that he should be criminally charged with her murder? Well, what they're calling a murder. Do you think he should be criminally charged with her death? Do you think so? Hit me up in the comments and let me know, what do you think that he should be charged with? Now, the insurance company, and this is what the insurance company, well, what was, before I get to what the insurance company was, he was arraigned and held on bail. 150,000 cash bail. You understand this? And the insurance company was the one who bailed him out, who bonded him out. So do you think the insurance company should be held liable for this? I mean, y'all, to all my listeners, y'all tell me, what do y'all think? In such a death where you hire a company to provide a service, and because of the way that you look, because this is obvious this is what happened because of the way that you look. And of course, did they say that he was under the influence? I think they said that he was under the influence as well. But I think it had to do more with because of the way that this woman looked, that this guy was showing off. And he happened to show off in front of the police, and he ran. Just because his own record, he ran. You know? And then you got to think, what is the procedures of these companies? If I have a warrant for my arrest, come on. I'm not saying he has a record because it does state that he didn't have no record. But I'm just saying, in that case, I always tell my listeners I speak on the two-headed coin. In that case, because it has happened in other situations where you have had people murdered. And I'm not trying to speak off the topic. I'm just trying to put my listeners on to something. People murdered by Uber or what would I forgot the name, the particular name of the company, but there was a limo company where they had a driver murdering people. Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
Bruh.
this really did happen. You could look it up, you can Google it or whatever. I forgot. I think it was it. If I'm correct, it was in a southern state. If I'm correct, it's in a southern state. But don't worry, but y'all already know. Y'all already know. I'll remember it and hit y'all up. In another episode. All right, so let's get into at least one of these comments that somebody made about this particular story. So let's get into it. All right, so check this out. This is what one of the comments said. It said, "Parents, warn your daughters to not get involved with a dude with a Lamborghini or a New York car of that value without a pot to piss in." Hold up. Now I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? I got a pot to piss in. You know what I mean? If I get a Lamborghini, that don't mean I'm a messed up dude. You know what I mean? Like I got a little something to say about that. Let's continue with this. It speaks volumes about his priorities. Positive spending. No, sending. Is it sending and insecurities? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think. And I can understand what this guy's trying to say. I don't think having an expensive car is an insecurity, because that's basically what he's trying to say. Parents, warn your kids about men from New York and men who spend a lot of money on cars. No. I think that, I don't know. You tell me what you think. But in my opinion, no. Because as a man, I worked hard for that. I work hard to have that. If that's the way that I choose to spend my money, then that's just the way I choose to spend my money. I mean, you have some people, they'll choose to buy fancy cars, expensive cars. But some people, they don't buy fancy cars. They'll go buy an island. You know what I mean? They'll go buy what's this?
Bruh.
A yacht. Yeah, like a yacht. They don't have to buy expensive. I mean, they'll buy different expensive things, but cars, for some people, that's not necessarily it. So it depends on the person. So with that one, whoever wrote that comment, give them the dummy buzzer. Yeah, because
Bruh.
it depends on the person. If I was a millionaire, I would not have a bunch of cars, and I would have a house, definitely, but not 10 or 30 cars. I only got 2 feet. You understand what I'm saying? So why would I have 30 cars or anything like that? I don't understand. Y'all tell me what y'all think. All right, y'all already know what to do. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about what I said. Okay. So that's my view, and that's my view on that. All right. I want to thank all my listeners, old and new. I want to thank everybody, all my listeners, for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I am so grateful for that. Until next episode, stay blessed and not stressed. All right. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.